Welcome to the Pretty Extreme Podcast. I am back and in full effect, but not really. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Um, I just recently recovered from COVID, but there was really no recovery because, just to give a quick rundown as to what happened, I went to go visit a friend at the hospital on Monday. So I got tested. I didn't get tested. I tested at home because I'm going to go visit a friend at the hospital and I want to make sure I'm okay. And I tested negative. And I kid you not, while at the hospital, I could just feel my energy just like being drained and pulled from my body. So by the time I left the hospital, I had this crazy headache that was creeping up like up my neck into my head. And I don't know, by the time I got home, I just felt so tired and sick and body aches. I was like, what the fuck? Am I dying? And then I took some like NyQuil, slept it off during the day, and then I was fine. And then so Tuesday rolled around and I had this meeting. So I was like, you know what? There's going to be a bunch of people there. I want to make sure I test again because I just came from a hospital. And boom, I tested positive. But by then I was fine. And so I tested positive all the way from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday I tested negative. So it was about 4 or 5 days. But it was a terrible experience only because like everyone kept wishing me well and like, I hope you feel better. And I'm like, I feel fine. It just sucks that I tested positive. But, you know, it is what it is. I had a good time spending time by myself, a lot of self-reflection, and like on a spiritual level, I feel like I'm a different person than I was yesterday. I feel like we all are different people than we are yesterday. It's just a matter of if you want to be the same person. I'm just trying to be a better me every day. And I mean, I'm not better every day only because like sometimes things don't change, right? It's just consistent. Like I'm like, okay, I'm the same person that I was yesterday. Still tested positive. I am no longer positive for COVID. So I do hope I see some of you guys at some upcoming shows because I got to change my jokes because some of my jokes were about COVID and now I got it. Some people are asking me like, what round are you on? Like, what do you mean what round? This is my first round. This is my first time getting COVID. And it was quite a pleasant experience. So but this is for me. I don't know about anybody else. You know, I know some people that were asymptomatic. I know some people who showed a little bit of symptoms. I had my normal allergies that I had before I even had COVID. So that was like, I don't count that, right? Like the sniffles, like the runny nose, the watery eyes. Like I already had that before COVID. And people are like, oh, you got that from COVID. No, I didn't because I had that before COVID. But that's just been my ongoing dilemma with people who've had COVID. And most people I know, they've had COVID multiple times. But I just knew that like they had it one time and they're like, oh yeah, I had it like 3 or 4 times. I was like, what the fuck are you eating? It's causing you to get COVID so many times. But yeah, that's kind of what I've had to endure the past week. I ended up canceling some shows because obviously I can't show up. So in case you missed your Worst Neighbors live taping, which I'm sure you did because it didn't happen, then you can make it this Sunday. This episode will be airing prior to this Sunday. So please, please, please go check out Foxtail Fermentation on Eventbrite and get your RSVP tickets. That way we can reserve some seats for you guys at the Foxtail Fermentation. I'm excited to go back and see them. I was so bummed. Like they had such a great turnout from the open mic that happens every Sunday from 6 to 8. And because I got COVID, you know, I just couldn't roll through. And, you know, I tested negative, but just to be on the safe side, especially since my kids came back, like, you know, it's just different being alone. I kind of like it. I like my alone time. Mind you, I was binging on Love and Hip Hop. So now I know like everything that's going on with Love and Hip Hop of Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, Love and Hip Hop. What else is there? Miami, I think it is. And what I've learned from Love and Hip Hop is that everyone's fucking everybody. There's minimal hip hop happening. It's more of the hop that's happening because people are just fighting all the time. And I'm like taken back from it. You guys can hear my zoo in the background. They're just like in the studio here, which I don't know if I've made that announcement. I think I have already. My cat had kittens, so it's been fun raising kittens. But yeah, back to Love and Hip Hop. If you don't have drama in your life, I recommend watching it because it's like, man, I don't have that much drama in my life after watching like 24 hours, 7 days of this show. It's like, I mean, I can't do Hollywood. I can't do like mainstream. I'm more like underground, underdogs, not like what is mainstream. I have my own thing. Like I don't do what's in. Don't say in. Because I don't trend. Like I mean, I see myself as a trendsetter, but not really because people aren't usually copying my trend. Like what I wear or, you know, how I am. I don't know. I just don't feel like people are copying me. I know people are jealous of me because people tell me like this person's jealous of you. And I'm like, why? Why? No one should be jealous of me. I'm just like everybody else, except I have a really deep voice. And there's some women out there that got deep ass voices too. And, it's funny hearing men with high voices, you know, because I got a deep voice. But anyways, some exciting news after recovering from COVID. Actually, not recovering, just testing negative. The meeting I was supposed to go to is to propose bringing Pretty Extreme Radio back in the radio waves. So if you are not tuning in, hopefully in the future, within the next month or so, you will be hearing Pretty Extreme Radio on 91.5 KKUP. Yes, you will be hearing Pretty Extreme Radio. And this is a local station, so I'm super excited. I'm going to be pitching the show back because it used to be PX Radio. And now, you know, since I started the Pretty Extreme podcast, I was like, maybe we could make it Pretty Extreme Radio, you know, just uniform. I almost like choked on myself. Don't say choke. Like you kind of like everyone knows to go to Pretty Extreme to search for shit. So if you ever want to, I mean, I'm swearing and stuff on here because this is a podcast. I know how to be professional. But if you want more details on what's happening, where you can get some tickets to my shows, they are free. Please visit pxcomedy.org and then you can find out more. You can also follow me on social media. I'm all over the place. PX Comedy or PX is my name. PX is my name is my private personal page. And I noticed that a lot more people who personally know me respond to my personal versus my comedy page, which is really interesting because I post more on my comedy page on purpose because I was trying to like take away my personal page. But now I can't take it away because I post personal stuff on there. But I like having my social media separate because there's some things that I just want to post personal. Like people who have been following me just on social media, I don't know some of them, and some of them, you know, they support my personal stuff, which is kind of weird. Why don't you support my comedy? I want to encourage people to help promote and cross market and support and collab with other comics, other artists, other musicians. And I am of Filipino descent and I want to collaborate with more Filipinos. You know, I feel like where I'm at, there's only like a sprinkle of Filipinos in San Jose. And I don't really see them too much. I mean, I see myself, but I don't see too many Filipinos out there. And I want to encourage Filipino people are funny fucking people, dude. We're fucking hilarious. So adopt your Filipino. I recommend that. Adopt a Filipino. Make a friend today. Make a friend, a Filipino. Make a Filipino friend today. Or how about let's just make an Asian friend today? Or why don't we just make a friend? How about that? Let's embrace the positivity in the world. but not the COVID positivity. Um, I thought it was interesting that people were already asking me like, "What are you gonna do about your theories? You mean my conspiracy theories? Absolutely nothing." You guys will have to find out on a show and check it out because my conspiracy theories are just conspiracy theories, and these are just my own. Okay. Um, I'm excited to announce I am in a contest called Face of Horror. So if you have Facebook, you guys can vote for me using your Facebook account or visit faceofhorror.org/2023/PX hyphen Floro. That's PX hyphen F as in Frank LORO. Face of Horror. You can also check out my social media platforms to be able to visit the link and vote for me. I'm excited because I am a big horror movie lover. Like I haven't watched horror movies, I would say within the past like 3 weeks because I experienced this. I experienced something very spiritual, so I never felt the need or like I wanted to. Because before, I just always had to watch horror movies. Like I've watched almost every horror movie that's been out there. There's probably some that I haven't watched. My cat, oh no. Yeah, you better get out. Or like playing with some cables and shit. And there's an arcade in this room. And these cats have been biting shit. Like cords. I don't know if one of them got electrocuted because there was no more bites, but my internet wasn't working. And I got all upset with my internet service provider thinking like it was my internet, but it was my cable. My cable box wasn't working. I had the most horrifying experience with Xfinity, by the way. I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but Xfinity has monopolized the area that I'm in. So we can, if you live in my neighborhood, you can only get dish service, satellite service. So I had to get Xfinity, and it's been nothing but shitty experience, Xfinity. Like, I'm surprised that I've kept my sanity for this long, having so many issues with my internet. So this is what happened. I got a message saying that there was something wrong with my internet, and then there was going to be an outage, and it said, do you want to schedule a worker to come out? And I'm like, yeah, I guess if you're telling me that it needs to be serviced and there's an outage, yeah, fucking send somebody over here. So I try to schedule the appointment through text messaging, fucking AI. It was like, do you want to schedule the appointment? When do you want to schedule the appointment? What day do you want to schedule the appointment? What time you want to? I'm like, all right. So I got all the way up to almost the end, and then I got an error saying, oh, we're having error scheduling your appointment. We're going to call you. So now they're calling me, right? Scheduling this freaking appointment. And they're like, hi, we're from Xfinity. Why are you scheduling this appointment? I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Why? You guys told me I need to schedule the appointment. And they're like, okay, well, we have an appointment open on Saturday. Mind you, at this point, internet hasn't gone down yet. All right. It hasn't gone down yet. It's still working. And then it's working. And then the guy shows up on Saturday. And then now my internet's not working. Like, he shows up on Saturday. He's like, oh, there's something wrong with your box. So you replace my box, my whatever the fuck that thing's called. He replaced that, and he was like, I don't know why they sent me out here. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know why? What are you doing here? Like, and when this guy came over, he had an Xfinity polo shirt, but he was wearing like sweats or I don't know, khakis and he was working out of his van, which I don't know why they don't give him service vehicles. Like, what the fuck? He's like using his like old Toyota Sienna van, which it's fine. You can use a Toyota, but when your vehicle looks like hoarder, like, who the fuck is this person that's walking into my fucking house and fixing my shit? So it's fine, right? I was fine. I expressed to that guy. I was like, it surprised me when you didn't even know what the fuck you're doing here, because that's the whole reason why this fucking appointment got scheduled in the first place. And then he replaces my box, and the next day my fucking internet goes out. Now, like, mind you, from the moment it went out, it was like 3 days with no internet. I was like, what's going on? And so I call, and they're like, oh yeah, it looks like there's no power going to your thing. You might need to exchange it, or we'll send another person out. And I was like, no, do not send anybody to my fucking house, because this guy said that it was fixed, and then the next day it was broken. And then I realized I think my cat bit on the cord. That's the real reason why my internet stopped fucking working. I was like, don't send anybody. Let me just go to the fucking store. And so I go to the store and I tell them, don't cancel the appointment. I think I ended up scheduling another appointment just in case, but they canceled it. And I was like even more annoyed because now I had to go into the store, go replace it. And I was like pissed. I was going in that fucking store all mad and just like, you know what? I'm going to give them a piece of my mind because I've had no internet and like, what the hell? But when I went in, they were just like, oh yeah, let's replace it for you. Oh, I'm sorry you've been experiencing that. So I couldn't even fucking get mad. I was just like, thanks. Went home, fixed it. Everything's working except now my stupid Ring camera. I'm so annoyed. I stripped the screw, don't say screw or strap, on the Ring camera. So now I can't reset it. I tried the rubber band hack where you like put a rubber band under the screw and then try to unscrew it. And that didn't work. So I'm thinking maybe like hot glue gun, you know what I mean? Attached to the drill bit or a screwdriver and then just turn like that. But I feel like I might break I guess, I can't break anything, right? Because screw's already stripped. I could break the plastic on the ring, but I have cameras out there already anyways. So, having an extra camera, I just want to have an extra camera since I'm paying for the fucking service. Fucking bitch, I just realized I'm paying for the fucking service and it's not fucking working. Ugh. I am even more annoyed with myself today. See how that happens? It's like I went from not annoyed to myself by getting annoyed. That's annoying. Yeah, that's my life, guys. But anyways, back to the Xfinity. I ended up not complaining. So shout out to Xfinity for fixing my shit. Shout out to Joe Mama for hooking me up with some podcast mic arms. I wish they were real arms. Just kidding. No, I'm not. But thank you, Joe Mama, for making my podcast life a lot easier for myself. I'm so excited to be using them. It's hands-free, right? You get to hear my little cats run around still and be assholes while I record this. I could have closed the door, but I just needed some air circulation in this room because this room has windows, but like a adjustable screen, and I don't always have the screen open because the heat just comes on that side of the window. Don't say comes. So what I usually do is I open the door to the the door. I just open the door that connects to the living room, and then I open the door so then I can get some air circulation in here. And I think the cats are just excited. There's like bigger space. They're like, what the fuck is this room? And so they're wreaking havoc. My grand kitties, I love them. I'm obsessed with them. I'm obsessed with my fur babies. I love animals so much. These little motherfuckers. And I remember watching a video where they said that animals don't have voices because they are the ones that are vouching for you. Oh no, they don't have voices because it's unconditional love. That's what it is. Animals don't have voices because they are there to teach us unconditional love. And I believe that. I believe that they don't have a voice to be able to express themselves or, they could express themselves by like meowing and barking and stuff. And, if they're birds, like making those bird noises and shit. But I feel like animals, I'm an animal, and I have a voice, but I don't know if animals can understand me. I think they can. I understand them. You know, I fucking love animals. They're the best. Except when they're running around going crazy while I'm trying to record my podcast. But I'll live. And then another thing that someone told me, or I might have seen it on the internet. I think my friend told me about it first. He told me that when you die and you go to the gates of heaven, the animals that you've taken care of are the ones that are waiting for you at the gates of heaven and vouching for you to enter. And I'm like, what a great way to start a new chapter in not life because you're dead. Just a new chapter where now you got to find out all the things that you did to your animals at the gates of heaven. Is that why dog is God backwards? You know? I'm always curious who created the word dog. Like, I mean, it's God, right? Backwards. And, you know, a dog, which now I look back as kind of sexist statement. A dog is a man's best friend. It can also be a woman's best friend. You know, why does it have to be a man? I feel like a lot of things are catered to men. Like, you know, just because we didn't know any better. And now we know better. So, yeah, that's life. And that's the way it is. Oh, see, that made a lot of sound. That was my phone touching the table. It sounded like there was an earthquake. So, yeah, hug your fur babies a little more today. A little tighter, but not too tight. Don't say tight. One of the comics, they lost their fur baby a couple days ago. So shout out to your fur babies. You know, they keep us sane. I recorded an episode, but I didn't post it. But I'm going to post this one because I don't know. I should. And I think that if there's people out there that deal with separation anxiety or depression, right? I feel like animals are the best at emotionally healing people. And a lot of times I hear people saying like, oh, I found them. But really, I don't think so. I think they found you. I think animals have a gift, you know, the gift of unconditional love, you know, and we have how many animals in a lifetime, you know, where we are their only human in their lifetime. And that's why I have 10 animals. I'm going to be rehoming the kittens. I can't wait for them to find their new homes because having kittens and dogs is a lot of work. And trust me, I want more. I would be okay with like having birds and shit, you know, like what else? And fishes. Like I'd be cool to have those types of animals in my house, fish, you know, like a Snow White thing going, you know. I'm with it. I love animals. But I need my sanity. I have the space, so I'm lucky. I'm very fortunate. My girls don't want to give away the kittens, but I'm like, we gots to. Like, animals are a lot of work, and I love them, and I would never give them away. I mean, except the kittens, obviously, because they need homes. Like, that's too much. But yeah, if you're not an animal person, you scare me. I wrote down all my notes as to what I want to discuss on today's episode. And as I was writing, I noticed that I still kind of write in cursive sometimes. For those who are listening and don't know what cursive is, you're too young for me. But like that's a thing. Cursive is like phased out. And I thought it was funny because my kid was like, I can't read that. I'm like, why? Why can't you read this? you know, what an era, what, like, Chinese characters, like the dialect, the writing has been around for generations. The Arabic, right, dialect has been around for ages, right? And here we are as Americans. We're like, we don't want cursive anymore. We don't want to teach that. Like, wow. I feel like that's very American of us to be like, let's drop cursive. We don't need to teach that. I mean, I've seen some amazing penmanship, and I remember like going to school and then we like learn about like a writer or an artist or whatever, look at archives, and then we would look at, this is a journal entry from so and so, and sometimes they'd have like the actual copy, not the actual copy, a copy of the journal or whatever that they were writing in. And I'm like, that's some nice penmanship, like that is some really good penmanship. So it's sad that they're taking away cursive. It's crazy that most of the people I associate myself with were born in the 1900s. Like, it's crazy, Never thought that we would be living the end of an era, which is the 1900s. It's been over for 23 years. It's blowing my mind right now. Absolutely blowing my mind right now. Like, I didn't even think I was going to hit 40, to be honest with you. I was like, damn, I'm 40 wada. Okay. I'm excited to see where I'm going to be at by the time I'm 50. That's crazy. I can't even imagine myself being 50. I barely could imagine myself being 40. Life is full of crazy, crazy shit. And I am here to live it. And I want to hear about it because this is a pretty extreme podcast. And we're going to be going to the radio pretty soon. The radio hours is going to be midnight, hopefully to 2 a.m. on Wacky Wednesdays. So I cannot begin to promote and tell you guys that the show is going to be on. So I'll find out by the end of the month, because I missed the meeting. I couldn't attend the meeting because I had COVID. Now I'm curious to see how many times I'm going to be able to get COVID, but I'm not trying to get COVID like 3 or 4 times. Like, what the fuck? I don't understand how people be getting it that, like, are people not washing their hands? I'm just kidding. I know y'all washing your hands, but I don't know. I mean, and people were quarantining with people that had COVID and didn't get COVID. I noticed that's what's happening now. Like, a lot of people who didn't get COVID in the beginning are getting it now. And either they're getting hella sick or I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Not getting sick at all. I don't know. But that's it. Contest. Oh, yeah. So just a friendly reminder. I'm going to wrap up this episode pretty soon. Please vote for me on faceofhorror.org/2023/PX-Floro. Vote for me. The voting is going to be for the next 8 days for the first round. The winner gets $13,000 and they get to feature in one of the projects. So if this doesn't say my name all over it, it does. So kitten over here is hanging on the tablecloth of the fucking table, and she's like being a daredevil. All right, but yeah, please be sure to vote for me. The contest first round ends in 8 days, so if you guys can do your free daily vote via Facebook, it doesn't cost no money. I would love to have you guys vote, and please tag me so I can reshare. And I appreciate everyone's continuous support and love through my comedy, the people who continue to listen, promote, share, go to my shows. Like, I love you guys so much. You have no idea. You keep me sane. You guys keep me going. And I hope y'all still listening. Please share this, okay? Have a wonderful life.